Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Sal Post. How you all doing? I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to another episode of Chatterbox. Tonight we'll be talking about the latest goings on at Manchester United, including the latest transfer news, the latest outgoings, and the latest news on our club in general, our stadium, for example, which has been causing a stir in the media and within the fan base. No watch along tonight. I'm here just to talk about Man United. So I will use Chatterbox every night. We'll be here for Manchester United talk and nothing less, nothing more, just Manchester United talk. We will be bringing in other subjects from other clubs, but we'll be mainly focused on Manchester United and what's going on within the world of Manchester United, of course. Now, Man United have been actively working on different sides of our club, including the coaching department. Obviously, we had Rennie Hack, who is a Dutch coach as well. So he could be making his way to Manchester United. We're hearing lots of noises about the disciplinary. His disciplinary record is very, very strong. Will the United players cope with that? Will they cope with that? It remains to be seen. We have to wait and see for that. But I'm here tonight with you guys. I'm glad you can join me. I'm glad you can join me on my quest tonight. And hopefully we get a. There's no game tonight, is there? So that's it. There's no game tonight. So we're here to talk about Manchester United, and that's all we're here to do. But anyway, let's bring it in. Let's liven it up a little bit. Manchester United and Jadon Sancho are in close talks with Juventus about the possibility of him signing for them for the club in hope that we can recoup some of the money that we spent on wingers. Rumor is that Ineos are not very happy with the money that has been spent on wingers under certain managers, including Sancho and Anthony. Manchester United aim to make some money back from the Anthony, Sancho, Pelestri, etc., and looking to raise about £155 million. Can they really raise that much money? Can they really raise that much money? We'll have to wait and see. But Ineos are actively looking to raise money for transfers and to help our FFP and etc. So, in regards to the fair play, we're looking to make money. We haven't raised any money so far. So, getting rid of players is essential if we want to have enough money and being allowed to spend enough money on FFP, and hopefully bringing some players in that will fit the club. Now, there's been obviously a lot of activity at Manchester United with the coach news, etc. Basically, let me just check these tweets out. So basically, yeah. So it looks like that Ruud van Nistelrooy will be coming to United. It is very close, I'm hearing. Next week should be the crucial week in the whole Ruud van Nistelrooy saga. But today, as I reported earlier, there was Rennie Hack. Rennie Hack is a Dutch manager from Go Ahead Eagles in Holland, who will join the coaching lineup at United, and will add that bit of steel into our coaching department. In regards to his mentality, in regards to his tactics, it is said that he is a very strict character and won't take no rubbish from any of those players. So will he fit into the United mold? Will he actually work with these players? Because as we know, we have had disciplinary issues in the past. We've had players who go to Belfast, for example, a night before the game and party. This is a problem that we have within the club. We have a disciplinary problem, and it's something that must be addressed next season. And of course, we have players down tooling, rumoredly down tooling, in regards to certain players injured and all the time and not wanting to play. So it's going to be an interesting time, especially if this Rennie Hake, if that's pronounced, goes through and comes to United next week alongside Ruud van Nistelrooy. The thing is, with the triple Dutch influence, this obviously has a lot to do with Erik ten Hag. Erik ten Hag is Dutch, of course, so he has 2 Dutch coaches. That means that a couple of coaches could leave. It's most likely they would go. Steve McLaren is one of those players, those coaches that could go. And obviously this will shake up the place a little bit, because maybe it's too nice, it's too friendly at the moment in regards to Ten Hag, and then there's the rest who might not be as strict as Ten Hag and might be sending out mixed messages in regards to contradicting Ten Hag in his coaching style, if you know what I mean. So in regards to transfers, as I was just mentioning earlier, United look to offload Sancho and Greenwood. They're very interested in offloading these players to raise some money to recoup the 155 million spent on wingers over the past decade. Well, under of course, definitely Sancho, definitely Pellistri, and definitely Antony. Antony has been causing interest from Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia are willing to pay a quite substantial amount of money for Antony. A number of Saudi Arabian clubs have inquired about Antony and are willing to pay the money. Now, would you sell Antony? Would you take the money from Saudi Arabia? That's all well and good, but will the player want to go to Saudi Arabia? Of course, Saudi Arabia is a league that hosts a lot of elderly players, older players who are looking to retire there and earn a quick buck. But it might seduce Antony, it might not. But Manchester United will be looking to offload Antony and looking to recoup some money back from the ridiculous amounts of money we spent on these players over the years. Extortionate amounts of money. Of course, as we all know, Antony was £40 million, but we signed him for £19 million. I mean, some people just got money to throw away like that. It's just unbelievable, isn't it? Another transfer that Manchester United are looking to do is Dybala from Roma. Dybala has a clause in his contract that allows him to leave for 10.5 million. Now, Ineos, to Jim Ratcliffe, Manchester United could take advantage of this deal to grab the Argentinian striker. It will also help with our financial fair play in regards to selling Sancho and Greenwood and just picking up Dybala for a measly 10.5 million. Is Dybala good enough? Now, Dybala has gone off the radar quite significantly over the past year, couple of years, to be honest. He had a decent record at Roma, but he's not been the prolific striker that he was in the past, for example. So are United right to take a risk on this player? He's also wanted by Newcastle United as well. So are they right to take a risk on this player? He's a very talented player, in my opinion. I'm not sure how he'd do in the Premier League. He's very technically gifted. Can he play up front? Can he play in that number 9 position? Can he play as a lone striker? It remains to be seen, especially in the Premier League, which is like a very physical league. So we have to be cautious about that when we're picking up these players, because he's a small player and playing in up front can be difficult. It can be difficult. And obviously, another one of our problems is obviously supply. So we ain't got anything coming out from the wings at the moment. Our assist record from the width is atrocious. So it's going to be hard for any striker, really, but in particular, Dybala, who isn't a typical striker, who isn't going to get himself about in the box and risk himself to score goals. He's a very technical player, does suit Serie A more, But for 10.5 million, it is definitely worth a punt, I think. Definitely. Especially to give cover for Rasmus Højlund. Another thing is, will Dybala be happy with playing second fiddle to Rasmus Højlund? Who knows? He might be, he might not. But it's going to be a one that we'll have to wait and see. But Manchester United are in for Dybala along with Newcastle United and Atletico Madrid. So it's one to keep an eye on because of the price tag. It's like a no-lose situation, really, isn't it? And if it improves our FFP, if we sell Sancho and Greenwood, it gives us space to invest money into other areas of the pitch. So that will be interesting, as we do need quite a number of positions, including the centre-backs, the midfield, the wingers, the left-back, etc. Because United need to get a move on in regards to that. We have one left-back in Luke Shaw. Malacia, we're not too sure about what's going on with Malacia. Hopefully he'll be back next season and he will give Luke Shaw some well-needed competition, because Luke Shaw has got a habit of going off injured, being injured for the majority of his career. When he's fit, he is one of the greatest left-backs in Europe. So we hope that he can get fit and we hope he can stay fit, but that is a big if, isn't it? So England miss him, obviously. England even picked him in the squad, even though he's not fit, because they need him. So, in my opinion, I would sign another left back. If Malacia can't get himself fit, another left back would be on my radar 110%. In regards to the defence, of course, we need two centre backs. Obviously, Todibo. There was rumours about the lawyers being involved in the Todibo transfer saga. Ineos are not happy with it. Ineos want to state their claim in the courts. If they do that, it's quite possible they will get it over the line. I don't think that UEFA will get involved in court cases and lawyers and stuff. There is obviously a middle ground for everyone, and there's obviously a solution for this, which will see Todibo signing for United if we fight for it. I believe if we just give up, it's not going to happen, and it will go elsewhere. Of course, we do need a left back. There's many left back. We do need a central midfielder as well. Of course, there's loads of rumors going around about our scouting network in South America might be on full drive for the first time that I can remember. We might be signing players from South America, from the actual South American clubs, and not indirect from clubs like Benfica and Ajax and PSG and all these teams around Europe. So we need to get our scouting network up in Europe. And there's also Anselmino, the defender, 19-year-old, 6'1" defender, who could be coming to United as well. So that would be an excellent signing. Ugarte, of course, he hasn't played well for PSG. PSG have been very disappointed with Ugarte, but there's no doubt that that player is very talented. Last year, he was playing for Sporting Lisbon, and United fans were screaming for Ugarte to be signed. And I don't know what's happened in 1 year. Many players go to PSG, many managers go to PSG, and it just doesn't work out. Maybe it's not the players, and maybe it's just the club, isn't it? So in regards to the news keeps flashing in with all different types of news at Manchester United. Of course, I'm gathering that the board are working overtime. Wilcox has basically just started, so he'll be working overtime, of course. So they have everything to prove, Ineos, and I believe in them. I believe 25. Although they took 25%, we have to support them, and we have to hope that they succeed and they get us what we want in the transfer market. But not only that, it's also important that they build our infrastructure and our stadium. But also, as I mentioned earlier in the video, it's very important that they remember our heritage. Changing the name of the stadium is not what we want. We don't want to move stadium either. I know some people do, but the Manchester United Stadium is 100 years old, and we cannot just willy-nilly just move stadium and change the name. There's a lot of history in regards to Old Trafford, and we can't just change the name to a commercial name just for financial gain, or even a name that relates to Ineos. This is one thing that I feel passionate about in regards to United, and they must they must listen to the fans in regards to that. There are other ways to make money, other sponsorship deals to be made. So it's important that we stay away from anything to do with Old Trafford in regards to changing the name. It's important that we do refurbish Old Trafford. Old Trafford does need to be rebuilt. I feel that we can rebuild it stand by stand, just like we did in the mid-90s and the early 90s with the South Stand and the North Stand. Now the Sir Alex Ferguson Stand, we need to do that. We have done in the past. It's worked out. No season tickets will be affected, but one season of affected season tickets for a long-term better future for our stadium and comfort for our stadium, more fans and less leaks. So we might have to take the risk on that. We might have to take the punt on that, and we might have to go with it. So as long as we stay at Old Trafford, it's very important. More news on Edson Alvarez. Edson Alvarez of West Ham is quieting down a little bit. But obviously, Fabrizio Romano mentioned him last week as signing for Man United. Obviously, has Premier League experience and could fit slots right into that midfield. In my opinion, he did okay last season. He didn't set the world alight, but it's very difficult to set the world alight whilst you're at West Ham. Also, West Ham, they lost Declan Rice, of course, and the pressure was on him to perform, especially when a high-profile player like that leaves. It's important that we give him the benefit of the doubt. But United are still interested in Edson Alvarez. And we should try. We wait and see. We do need that cover in that area. Can he replace Casemiro? I don't think so. I think Ugarte will be the man to replace Casemiro. Of course, Ugarte, there's news that we have made a bid or inquired about Ugarte. Some people have said we've bid 25 million for Ugarte, but that is way short of what PSG are expecting. PSG have quoted 51 million for Ugarte. So unless we pay 50 million around that mark, we're not going to get Ugarte for 25 million. That offer just won't be accepted, will it? Are we wasting our time? I don't know. But Ugarte definitely is on United's radar and a very interesting player. And I feel like he'll work well under Erik ten Hag. And now the future coaches of Ruvan Nistelrooy and Hake. So it's looking bright. Lots of good noises coming out United. Lots of transfer news, lots of coach news, and infrastructure news. It's better. It's better than no news, isn't it? So hopefully things will come into fruition next week or the 1st of July. We'll hear a lot of things. I'm hoping so. And as I keep repeating, I'm like a broken record here. Like United need to have most of their business done by the preseason. That's what they need. They need to have most of their preseason work done by the preseason. So, Manchester United also have been inquiring again about Frimpong. Frimpong is a name that won't go away. Frimpong is a fullback and winger that I admire, very attack-minded. It's something that we must think about when we're signing fullbacks now. We must look at them and think not just defensively, but can they go forward? Can they cross? Can they assist? Because it's important that we move our team forward and we start scoring goals. Because last season we had a minus goal difference, and it wasn't the United way, was it? But obviously that can be blamed on the numerous amounts of injuries, record amounts of injuries, 60-odd injuries whatsoever. So it's important that we sign players that have a mentality that they want to go forward and they want to score goals, they want to create goals, etc. Now, other than that, João Neves has gone pretty quiet. I believe that João Neves is the next big thing coming out of Portugal. He may be too expensive for United to capture. I would be happy with that signing. It's one of them signings that will be welcomed with me. I like the player. He's young and he's got a bright future. And you can see him going to a major club in Europe. You can see him going to Manchester City, for example. You can see him going to PSG, for example. Another name that has gone pretty quiet recently is Ederson. Ederson of Atalanta in Italy. They has gone completely quiet with Ederson. Ederson is a player I admire. Ederson is a player that is on my transfer list. If I was going to have a transfer list, Ederson would be one of those players that I would bring in, that I would like at United to cover in that midfield. He would be one of my first choices, him and Ugarte. If we sign both, fantastic. That would be brilliant. But I doubt we're going to sign both. So Ederson is a player that I really like and I really admire. Now, in regards to Luke Shaw is now fit. Luke Shaw has been training with England, so that's good news. Hopefully he doesn't break down in the game. I would myself not play him against Slovakia. I would bring in Saka as left back. I think Ian Wright is 100% correct. We can afford to play Saka as a left back against Slovakia. Let's face it, we can. If we can't, then, you know, what we're going to do, just keep playing square pegs in round holes. It's just not going to work, is it? England need to compromise and try and be tactically more astute. I know that is very foreign in regards to Gareth Southgate, but we need to be tactically astute, and playing Saka as a left back is astute, just like Sir Alex Ferguson when he moved Antonio Valencia into the fullback position as right back. Daniel Longbottom, what's going on? Good evening, my man. Hope you're well. Thank you for joining me. So we need to bed Luke Shaw into the team. If we can bring Luke Shaw on for the final 20 minutes on Sunday, that would be good. It would give him well-needed minutes, and it will help him progress. And it will only help United because he hasn't played no football since February. Now, back to the Dybala situation. Dybala, of course, has been linked to Manchester United before, many times, in fact. But we've never quite got it over the line. This time he's worth 10.5 million, and it is a no-lose situation for Manchester United if they sign him. I would sign him. I don't know what you think. Would you go after Dybala for 10.5 million? Will he play second fiddle to Rasmus Højlund? That's the question I'm asking. Will he play second fiddle to Rasmus Højlund? I think he has to, and I think we can rotate. It's not just about playing second fiddle. It's about rotation. And if Rasmus Højlund is struggling, we can bring on Dybala, and vice versa. You know, a lot of pressure was put on Rasmus Højlund. People forget Rasmus Højlund is 20 years old. He's still young, and he's still learning the game. So he does need an older striker there who can kind of learn from and sort of reflect his game around an older striker, and in positioning wise and finishing wise, etc. But we do need a more experienced striker to be in there to complement Rasmus Højlund. In regards to Greenwood, there's a Greenwood fan club. Obviously, there's people who don't want Greenwood to leave, but Greenwood is no choice. He's going to leave. Mason Greenwood is not going to stay at Manchester United whatsoever. Manchester United have got a lot of problems at the moment without having to deal with Mason Greenwood. Mason Greenwood is a very good player. I would call him a generational talent. Unfortunately, the situation with his girlfriend, etc., has put United in a very uncomfortable position, and it's important that United don't harm the player in regards to when he comes back, he's going to get abuse from the fans, from the rival fans, etc. Just like David Beckham did all those years ago, and we know how bad it was with David Beckham. And back then, there was no social media, there was no nothing. So can you imagine now, if a player like Greenwood comes back to United, the abuse he will get at the club, at rival fans will be shouting his name, screaming abuse, and then he's got the social media to deal with as well. So we can't think of us on a selfish level. We have to let Mason Greenwood leave. He's wanted by a number of clubs, including Lazio. Lazio bid 17.5 million for Mason Greenwood, but that is a ridiculous offer and very insulting to the club. That is very cheap from Lazio, especially with a 10% sell-on fee as well. They're having a laugh, really. They have to pay more than that because they've got more than that. They know they've got more than that, and they need to pay more than that for someone like Mason Greenwood. Mason Greenwood obviously is playing in La Liga in Spain and doing very well at the moment. So he at least 40 million. It's unfortunate that it's only 40 million. He's worth a lot more, but of course he comes with baggage with what happened in last year, 2 years ago now, almost, you know. So he hasn't played for United for a long time, so we won't really miss him in regards to that. But it is a sad end to a very promising career for Manchester United. I hope that he will play for England again. I hope that he ends up playing for England and he gets picked in the squad again. I know that Gareth Southgate is very self-righteous with certain players. He loves to wear that hat with certain players, and he doesn't like playing. He's got that woke side to him, which won't help a player like Greenwood. And unfortunately, he doesn't look like getting back in the England squad anytime soon until Southgate has gone. Because everyone deserves a chance. Everyone deserves chances. Him and his girlfriend are now married and they have a kid. So it's important that we move on from it. But he cannot play for Manchester United, I don't think, because there's a huge part of the fan base that does not want him back. And you cannot blame them. People feel deeply about this. They feel that a bit passionately about this as well. So we cannot bring him back and put him into that spotlight. We have to let him go. Unfortunately, as a youth player at Manchester United, it's a sad end to Mason Greenwood's career at Manchester United. But it will bring in some money, some real well-needed funds, and also with Sancho. If we saw Sancho, we have Pellistri as well, Van der Beek, also players that need to go. Obviously, we've got Lindelof as well, Wan-Bissaka, all these players that are on our books that could bring us in quite a bit of money. So it will be great if we could sell those players and we can move on and sign some players as well and keep it within FFP, because FFP is one thing, but there are ways around FFP, as Chelsea have proven. Chelsea have spent over 1 billion since January. 1 billion. And they're still signing players. So it's important that we find a way to get around FFP, because there are ways around FFP. And contrary to popular belief, there is ways around FFP. So in regards to this show, I'm looking to bring Chatterbox every evening around 8 p.m. Chatterbox will also be the show which hosts the live watch-alongs as well. So it'd be great if you guys can join me in this quest. I have a morning show. Sometimes I'll come online for any news from Man United, like I did earlier. But Chatterbox will be the evening show. So you guys, this is a new show. We're just raising it up. We're just bringing it back from what it was from before. And I hope you guys can join me on this quest, and we can all grow together, and we can build this channel to what it should be and could be. Please subscribe, please smash a like, please put the notifications on, drop a comment as well. Everything helps. The algorithms, you know what they're like. The algorithms love the algorithm, don't they? So we need your help in growing this channel, and we will build our community, and we do it as a community, as a fan base, and we unite and build it up for proper Man United supporters, for proper football supporters, this channel, for proper supporters who support the manager and want us to win and not preying on our downfall because they want to be right for their ego. So thank you for joining me tonight. I am back tomorrow for Breaking Dawn, where I have more news about Manchester United. Early in the morning, 7 a.m. UK time, 8 a.m. Middle Central European time, 10 a.m. Middle Eastern time. Middle East is where I'm at, so it'll be 10 a.m. for me. Nice and early for you guys, so you can get a little bit of Man United news nice and early, which is always nice, isn't it? So, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for joining Chatterbox. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.